Okay, so welcome to Eloquent JavaScript, a modern introduction to programming, 3rd edition. Chapter 2, Program Structure. Problem number 3. Write a program that creates an 8x8 string chessboard, like the following. So first, I'm gonna start by initializing my string variable. I'll call it str and set it equal to an empty string. Next, I'm gonna need a loop. So it's gonna need an 8x8 string chessboard. So I'm gonna make this loop iterate 8 times. So starting with declaring I equal 0, I less than 8, and I plus plus. Okay. And in here, 8x8 chessboard. Alright. So let me name my variable R. So I'm gonna make this for loop iterate through the rows of the board. Next, I'm gonna need another for loop which iterates through the columns of the board. So I'm gonna name my variable C, set it equal to 0, C also less than 8, and C plus plus. In here, okay, I'm gonna implement an if else in here. So to check C every time if the value is divisible by 1 or 2. So in here, every time C is divisible by 1, or no, it should be like that every time. So C gradient 2 equal to 0. So if C is an even number, I want to use S equal S plus sharp. Let me implement the second condition, else. Then I'll explain S equal S plus space. Okay, so in here, in this loop, in every iteration, I check the condition whether the value of C is even or odd. So if it's even, then C gradient 2 is equal to 0 because the value of C is an even number. So I would add a sharp character to my string variable. Else, if C is not an even number, for example 1 or 3, then a space character is added to S instead of sharp. My string variable is called str, so str here. String. Okay, and str. Okay. So let me try and run it so we can see what happens now. Debug console, does it work? Oh, so at the end of the loop I should console.log the string str. Now if I run it, run and debug, that's what I get. Now of course, every time I'm done with this for loop, let me just name these. So this for loop represents rows, and this for loop represents columns. So every time I'm done with a column, so as soon as I enter a first row, I start with the first column. Then when I'm done with the first column, I should go to a new line in order to start with the second row. So I should add something called an escape character to my variable str. An escape character like this. So this escape character, it's a special character in programs that's assigned to a string, and this escape character there are different representations from escape character. So escape character n represents a space break. So when the program wants to print an escape character n, as if I'm telling it to go to a new line. So let me run it this time. Let me first save this and run it. There we go. So when I'm done with the first column, I added the escape character to the string and it went to a new line. As if all of this is a single string. That's why at the end of the loop of rows, I ended the program by printing the value of str, the string variable. Okay, so it worked, but the problem is that every even column there's a space, so it's not very hard. So I just add an if statement. I don't need an else. That just checks whether r rating 2 is equal to 0. That just checks whether the value of r is even. If it's not even, it just ignores this case and moves on. So in case it's even, I just add a space character to my string, like that. And if I run it, it worked. R rating 2 is equal to 0. Something wrong here. For the rows. Okay, let me try and add another condition here. So and another condition that r is not equal to 0. Okay, let's see what happened here. So r equal to 0, 0 rating 2 equal to 0. So for the first row, it should ignore it. Okay, so let me try and set r to 1, r less than or equal to 8. and run it this time. There we go, it worked. So I start with 1 and I ended the for loop when r is equal to 8. And yeah, that's basically it.